Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Hakuoki Kyoto wins. And in the last part, Saito returned. I mean, he showed up when we were sick, but he was really there, and we thought it was a dream, and now he returned, and oh, thank God, and we got more points with him, but we didn't actually get any points, and I'm really sad about that, but, like, I mean, maybe those ones mean nothing unless you actually choose something that gives you brownie points. I don't know. Anyway, so we just got attacked, and nobody bothered to ask Chikage, Chikage. Nobody bothered to ask him what he meant by "I'm just buying time for someone else," and you're like, "Whoa, mama, me. I'm gonna need you to me. Tell me what that means." Nobody asked him though. I don't know. The attack on the watch, as well as the assassination of Ito, later became known collectively as the Aburano Koji incident. We don't got to think for that. An unexpected turn for both the demons and the Sasuma from their trap laying resulted in a number of casualties for the Shinsengumi and the watch, including Heisuke's fatal wound. Heisuke died! Oh my god. I wonder. I'm not saying if we went to rescue him, he wouldn't have died. I mean, obviously, he's not going to die when we're on his path, but I'm assuming that's because we have enough love points with him that we would make the choice. I just wonder what would have happened. Like, well, no, because we'll be using a guide, but like, let's say we were on a romancy path with him, right? We had gone down that. He obviously wouldn't have died. But we would have made the choice, possibly, we would have made the choice, I'm going to go, because I'm going to convince, because, like, remember when we stayed, she was like, nah, I mean, they're going to be able to convince Heisuke, not me. What would I say to him? I love you? That's what you'd say to him if you were in love with him, right? You would go. Like, I mean, it's like, obviously, whatever. Not in this path. But in his path, we would go, and we might be able to convince him to come and be on our side, and he wouldn't die. Because otherwise, there'd be no point in romancing, is all I'm saying. So I know when you're going down other people's paths, when people die, but I didn't think they died this early until you were on a certain person's path but I guess because we have no romance points with him. You know what I mean? We would have had to start down that from the very beginning. Otherwise, he was always going to die. Like, if we were in Hijikata's path, he'd be dead. If we were in Saito's path, we were in Saito's path, but I meant Okita's path, he'd be dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew people would die in each other's paths. I knew it. But I thought you got to the point where, like, you have the common chapters, and then I am on this person's path. Now, you're in that path. You're in that game. It's going to totally change. And that's where things change. But, wow. So I wonder, where's the point where common ends, right? Because if you save the game, it still just shows the generic. Well, like in Code Realize, when all of a sudden you start Victor's chapters, when you save, it shows Victor, and you're like, I'm on Victor's route. Like, that's how you know. Like, in this, we haven't quite gotten there. I don't think we're still in chapter 4. And if the thing was right and there's only 5 chapters, then, like, I mean, I just don't see how there's 80 hours of gameplay. But, they overestimate themselves. But it's curious to me how different it would be. Like, where did it veer? Where if we had been going down Heisuke's route the whole time, would have been like, okay, we can't kill him now. You know what I mean? It could be drastically different. So I don't know. Maybe there's 80 hours because the story's so drastically different depending on whose path you're in. Like, yeah, okay, the same shit happens, but I mean, obviously, if we chose to go as opposed to stay, it would have been totally different. But if we were in Saito's path and we went to go, would Heisuke still have died? Because nothing we would have said would have convinced him, right? I would assume. But if we're in love with him and we have romance with him, and then we try to convince him, maybe he would have lived. But it's like, how drastically different are the paths? Are they like pretty common except for a few little things? I mean, we'll find out, but it's intriguing. Anyway. Oh. In order for Heisuke to live, he had no choice but to drink the water of life. Okay, so he's not dead. Game. While this was all going on, Chikage Kazama took the time to strike at the heart of our compounds. The serum brought into the Shinsengumi by my father was now slowly eating all of them away. My heart began sinking from the weight of all this. That's true because you're slowly like sun and oh my god. Do you want to build a snowman? I just want to go play in the snow. December 1867. Scarcely a month had passed since Aburano Koji. Saito and Heisuke had returned, but the Shinsengumi was hardly back to normal. A dark, tense atmosphere pervaded the compound. Many men had lost their lives in Kazama's attacks. Even more had been injured during the attack at Aburano Koji. Among them was Heisuke. Several of the rank-and-file soldiers had seen him mortally wounded. He had looked as if he would not survive. For that reason, Heisuke was declared officially dead and made a member of the Fury Corps. Oh no. Heisuke Toto, and now he's got white hair. He survived the Aburano Koji incident by becoming a Fury and rejoined the Shinsengumi. Ahem. The official records show him as deceased. Sorry, I keep forgetting to read that. Saito hadn't been wounded, but many among the common soldiers began to call him a coward. To them, he had left the Shinsengumi to join Ito, then betrayed his new master when he sensed a change in fortunes. I saw no reason why he shouldn't set them straight and say that he had never truly left the Shinsengumi. But he claimed he would rather stay silent than tarnish the honor of the commander and the chief who had ordered his actions. As such, it was decided that Saito would leave the compound until tempers had been allowed to cool. No! Why do you keep taking my baby away from me? He was sent to stay at Tenma in order to protect Kyotaro Miura as an official of the Kishu domain. Tenma Inn. Saito guarded Kyotaro Miura of the Kishu domain by using the inn as a hiding place. We're gonna have to go visit it. I keep wanting it to change. Damn it, why don't you change? I'm so mad that didn't give me points. I was really just hoping it took a while to kick in. It's not gonna change. The night of the battle at Aburano Koji was a turning point for the Shinsengumi. For the men who didn't know the details, it was simply a battle against their former comrades, the guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Those better informed knew the situation with the Sushuma and Choshu domains had changed, and Ryoma Sakamoto's hit was part of a big plan. Only the heads of the Shinsengumi knew the whole story, the activities of the demons and Heisuke's transformation into a fury. They were also the only ones who knew that Okita's illness had gotten worse. Such an important battle had stirred up the atmosphere in the compound, and for several days, there were excited men everywhere, shouting and talking. Moments of silence were quite rare. I'm going to sit in here and cry because our boyfriend's gone again. I felt I would only be in the way if I was wandering around the grounds, so I did my best to stay in my room by myself and cry because our boyfriend's gone again. Okay, I have a little bit of fucking margarita left because, yes, I'm recording this part back to back with the other 16,000 parts I just recorded. What, like 30 of them? I don't know. Anyway, I lost count. Thank goodness you're here. Sonnen walked into my room without saying anything. If you'd gone out, I wouldn't have been able to look for you. Sonnen, but it's daytime. Are you sure you're all right? Yes. I've just had a revelation. I just had to tell you immediately. His eyes glittered with something, and even though he was smiling, I could feel the fingers of dread beginning to poke at the base of my spine. Why me? Wouldn't you want to tell Kondo or Hijikata instead? Well, it has to be you. Will you listen to my idea? Yes? Although he asked in the form of a question, his choice of words made it seem far from letting me make a choice. Sonnen started to talk without waiting for my answer. Yukimura, that Princess Sen had claimed that you were of the demon clan, right? And as a demon, you were stronger, faster, and more resilient than a human. Demonic superiority was displayed quite clearly by those demons who just attacked us. Well, I understand that, but what was Sonnen trying to get at? My heart started to pound, anticipating bad news. A demon possesses immense power. It follows that the blood which flows through demon veins should be similarly powerful. Perhaps it's even potent enough to completely counteract the madness of the Furies. I didn't know how the water of life worked, but Sonnen's explanation seemed logical, even if it was a bit manic. How can you know that for sure? Since before I became a Fury, I've been researching how the water of life works. I know more about it than anyone else here. I still have yet to discover the exact composition of the water of life. It figures the glasses character's the fucking nerd, is all I'm saying. But I'm hypothesizing, again, and would say the word hypothesizing. I have a thesis. Oh my god, I fell asleep. What? I'm just kidding. But I am hypothesizing that a core ingredient is fresh blood, and I'm assuming not from a human. Perhaps there may be demons or demon-like entities roaming throughout foreign countries. So... He steps up to me. I need your blood. Whoa, okay, that got creepy. Sonnen drew closer to me without making a sound. In any event, I believe it's worth testing. Your very existence could save the Fury Core. No, the entire Shinsengumi. Wait! Sonnen's eyes had grown painfully sharp, and I almost thought I could hear the barest edge of madness in his voice. Now... Whoa! Hi. Oh, he looks so hot when you're angry and, like, devious. Like, those sexy eyes. Like, wow. Calmly, he drew his sword from its scabbard. There was no madness or bloodlust to his movements, and that only made them all the more terrifying. Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not going to kill you or anything. I just want a small sample of your blood. That's all. I took a step back. 2. Sonnen and his sword came closer. He lifted it, and the steel blade shimmered in the light. And all of a sudden, just then... Hey, Sonnen, the hell are you doing? Hijikata burst into the room. Then... What is this, Sonnen? Of all people, I'd expect you to know better than to draw your sword on someone in the compounds. Have you lost your mind? Hijikata... Oh, Hijikata. Excellent timing. Please give me a hand here. You also need to convince her to cooperate with us. With a calm purpose, he stepped between Sonnen and me. Put your sword away. Personal conflicts are forbidden. The rules of conduct apply to everyone, even the captains. Sonnen glared at Hijikata begrudgingly for several moments, but he soon turned away and sheathed his sword. So what happened? Did Yukimura do something? I'm searching for a way to treat the madness of the Furies, for the good of the Shinsengumi. And that means you have to cut her. I'm not going to kill her. I only need a little of her blood. We've lost so many of the Furies from the battle the other day. Many of our human soldiers have fallen as well. If we're able to effectively utilize the Furies we have left, as well as the ones we're about to create, then we must find a way to temper their madness. I know you for an intelligent man, Hijikata. Surely you understand. The code says we don't fight each other for any reason. You haven't forgotten, have you? So no matter what reason you give me, I cannot condone bloodshed amongst our members. However, Yukimura is not technically a member of the Shinsengumi. Maybe not, but she's been here long enough. She might as well be. They continued to stare for a while, neither willing to budge on the matter at hand. Sonnen sighed. As usual, you're too soft. I guess I have no choice. I'll leave for now. But keep in mind, if we do not discover a method of suppressing the side effects of the water of life, even Toto will begin to suffer from the bloodlust. That's enough to make me help him, because he's nice. He's my friend. You are fucking crazy, Glasses. I do love you a little bit, but you're fucking crazy. I'm thinking if he had asked, like, I just need a little bit of your blood, I would be like, okay, can you, like, just prick my finger? And do that? Like, what do you need to do? Are you gonna, like, actually physically, like, hurt me? Like, a little bit, like a finger prick? Like, squeeze into a vial? Or are you gonna, like, what are you gonna do? Like, I mean, just ask me nicely. Don't whip out your sword. I mean, that's like walking in and be like, so I really like you. Thinking maybe we can go on a date. But instead you walk in and you're like, look at my dick! I mean, that's just not gonna work. You should ask me nicely. So if you want my blood, just walk in and be like, so here's the thing, right? Here's my reasoning, and I could really use some of your blood, and I'm not gonna whip my sword out to, like, get any, unless you say it's okay, and then maybe I'll just get, like, a kitchen knife, so it's not as scary as, like, a giant sword, because, like, I'm not crazy. I'm just saying. I would have been like, okay, I guess. Only after I'd heard his footsteps fade away down the hall did I begin to breathe again. You okay? Oh, yes. Thank you for helping me. Nothing to thank me for. Just ensured Sonnen followed the code. In the past, he wouldn't have stood up to me like that. I looked down. It's true, Sonnen had been acting strange lately. He would never he would... I was, like, stretching my neck and everything so I couldn't, like, properly see the screen, and then I just fucked it up, like, 3 other times. He would have never drawn his sword as aggressively as he just did before he drank the serum. I'm sorry. Huh? It's gotten over you. There's nothing for you to apologize for. Well, the reason my Sonnen was acting the way he did in the first place was because Kazama destroyed the Fury Core. After I said this, Hijikata paused and reflected to himself before responding. I think you've gotten things mixed up. Huh? They're aligned with the Sasuma and the Choshu. In other words, they are our enemy. If an enemy attempts to attack us, it's a given that we're going to put our lives on the line to stop them. He spoke with so much conviction, but it's none of your responsibilities to protect me. So what are you saying then? We should just offer you on a silver platter to them and beg for them to spare our lives? Just because they have powers we don't? This is not the samurai way. For us, once we've decided on something, we'll never compromise that decision. We're not bitches. Oh my god! That is so not something you would have said in like 1860, whatever fucking year we're in. Oh my god, we're not bitches. Look, we're not fucking pussies. Oh my god. Oh, Hijikata, I love you because you say shit that is so... You're like, what time period are you really from? Because, bitch, you were not from the 1800s. I fucking love him. Hijikata was so confident with what he was saying, and I felt there was no real contention to his claim. Even if he wouldn't say as much, I'm sure he knows that kicking me out of the Shinsengumi would make their lives so much easier. But if they did that, it would be a violation of values they pride themselves on upholding. I'm sorry if what I said was out of line. I already told you. You don't have to apologize. Don't make me repeat myself. He's blushing. Hijikata said this timidly, muttering under his breath before looking down in my direction. Love points. No. I mean, we got love points with everyone so far, like a little bit. Not him, though. Next time something like this happens, be sure to tell me. Don't keep it to yourself. You can always tell Yamazaki or Shimada, too. Alright, understood. We never get love points with him, like, ever. And other ones, random conversations, like, with glasses. We got one trying to stop him from taking the potion. I'm like, oh, okay. We've gotten them with Susumu. Yamazaki. We got them with Okita. We definitely have them with Saito. We didn't get them with Heisuke or Sano or Shinpachi because we never seem to go in places where they are. But Hijikata's around all the motherfucking time. You think it'd be really easy to get love points with him, is all I'm saying. Because he always shows up like this, like, god damn it. And we're always like, okay, whatever you say. And, like, he's always there. Like, always. So you think it'd be easy, but it's not. Hijikata nodded and turned to leave, but I realized I had one thing left to say. What? Was there something else? There were so many warriors who were injured as a result of the attack on the compounds. Saito hadn't been present for long recently, and Kondo was occupied with his meetings with the Bakushin. Similarly, I had feelings Hijikata was feeling the pressure of all his duties lately. I wish that I could be helping him in some capacity, but I might get in their way. What is it? I won't know if you stay quiet. Is there anything I can help you guys with? It could be anything. Please, just let me help. Help? He followed his response with a sour expression that intimidated me. Well, had he become upset by my question? Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything at all. No, if I back down now, nothing will change. Please, it could be anything small. I mean, do you need to send a message to Saito for any reason, any excuse for me to go see him? Because, I mean, Jesus, he kept me apart from him for 6 months, and then he finally showed back up, and now you took him away again, and Jesus Christ, I miss my fucking boyfriend, even though you don't think he's my boyfriend, and you don't know he's my boyfriend, but I'm in love with him, and he's in love with me, and, like, can I go see him, please? God damn it. Spacey needs a hit, man. The silence stretched out so long, I thought I was going to scream. Yeah. No! Literally being without Saito makes me want to scream. No. I suppose you'd be more discreet than one of our boys. Huh? Brush and paper. Huh? Bring me a brush and some paper. You do have that in here, don't you? Hurry. Yes, right away. I scrambled across the room, grabbed a brush and paper, and handed them to Hichikata. But nothing like no ink or anything or whatever he's going to write with. He took them silently, still scowling, and quickly began to draw. Oh, he's drawing? Like, oh my god, are we drawing? Are we going to color? A map? What is that? He ignored me and continued drawing. Oh my god, are we going to... I'm so glad we asked. You know Saito is a Tenma guarding Miura, right? Yes? I want you to take something to him. Will you do that? Yes! Do you think I can? Yes. One of our boys would stand out too much. You're the best option I've got right now. Can I trust you with this? Absolutely! Yes, of course! Sir! I was thrilled to help, of course, but I was even more ecstatic to be given a task especially suited to me. However, it does put a lot of pressure on me. I was especially excited to be given a task that means I get to see Saito, and she's like, suited to me. It's not what I was... Okay. There. I drew you a map. Keep to this and you shouldn't get lost. Right. Thank you. The map was pretty straightforward, but I still barely knew my way around Kyoto. Without it, I likely would have gotten lost. How many years have you fucking lived here? I barely knew my way around Kyoto, even though I've lived here for so long and I've been on patrol with the guys. I mean, I'm sure that's only a certain area that you go on patrol with them. Not like all of Kyoto, but I'm just saying. Alright, I'm going. I turned to leave and only a concerted effort kept me from skipping towards the door. Hold on, genius. Hard to deliver a message if you don't have one. Oh, sorry. I got carried away. I was just imagining seeing Saito again. I mean, being useful. It's really about Saito. That's all it is. God, I know it's been a while since you went out, but you're getting too excited. You're making me nervous, kid. You sure you can do this? Yes, of course. I'll do a great job. I get to see Saito. He's like, you've said that 6 times. Here's a letter for Saito. Make sure you don't drop it or lose it somehow. Yes, I'll be very careful. Is there anything you want me to tell him? Aside from I love him. I mean, you love him. I mean, what? Everything I have to say is in that letter. Understood. Then I'm off. Tuck it tight. I'm going to put it inside. I'm just going to stuff it in my shirt against my chest. It's in there. It's going to get sweat all over it, but this time I wasn't able to fully subdue the urge to skip. Adorable. But even as I hurry, I have to be careful. Still, I wonder if it was really okay for him to trust me with all of this. Trust Hijikata. No, Hijikata trusted me to do this. I need to fulfill the task given to me. Keeping this in mind, I decided I was prepared for the mission and left to deliver Saito's letter. They should have given us love points. First, I slipped the letter into my kimono, and I double-checked to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Next, I carefully unfolded the map Hijikata had drawn out for me. Hijikata placed enough faith in me to get the job done, so I had to be sure I did things correctly. Okay, so I go this way on this street. According to the map, it looks like I have a long way to go. I better hurry, it's going to be evening by the time I get there. Maybe I should run there. I wanted to ensure I take all safety precautions, of course, but I was overwhelmed with a sense of duty to the point that I couldn't help but feel running would ensure I'd complete the task on time. We're going to so fuck up, aren't we? No, I just really was hoping we get to see Saito. Can we fuck up on the way home? Can you fuck up on the way home, girl? I think this is the place. I checked the house number etched into the lantern that was posted in front of the building. I was sure I'd arrived at the correct location. I'd been told earlier that Saito had taken a room under the name Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi? The alias used by Hajime Saito while guarding Miura during the Tenma Inn incident. Yamaguchi. Excuse me. I have business with a person who's staying here. After speaking with the clerk, Saito comes out shortly after. Oh, thank God! Baby, I missed you so much! I know it's been like maybe an hour since we've seen your face. Like, not even... Yamaguchi! Sorry to bother you. Oh, they sent you, Yukimura. He's like, oh, they say he looks surprised. Look. One of his eyebrows shifted up fractionally in response to my presence. Yes, they sent me and you love me. You're so happy. Clearly, he seems surprised. He's like, oh, they sent you. And he's like, oh, they sent you. And he's like, oh, thank God, I missed you so much. But he's saying it in his head, and I'm like, I missed you so much. And he's like, I missed you so much. I'm sorry you got someone as inexperienced as me. No, you misunderstand. I was only surprised. He's fucking happy. He's fucking happy. I expected to receive new orders soon, but I didn't think you'd be the one to deliver them. Right. Well, I asked if there was anything I could do to help, and he was kind enough to let me help like this today. Well, I can see his thinking. It's a good plan. Huh? It is? One of our regulars would have drawn undue attention to this location. New members might not be noticed, but how can we know where their true loyalties lie? You, on the other hand, can move unnoticed, and your loyalty is beyond question. He loves us so much. The commander made an excellent choice. There's no one else better for this role. I know, and because we love you. Oh. Saito's explanation made me realize, how much Hijikata thought this plan through. After I made the request to help him, he considered all of this and gave me the order. Hijikata truly has a brilliant mind. The letter? Oh, of course. I pulled out the letter and handed it over. He tore it open and read it over quickly, then lit it on a nearby lantern and watched patiently until it was nothing more than ash. Saito? Yamaguchi. Right, Yamaguchi. Are you sure it was okay to burn it? I've read it. I know what it says. Why should I leave it intact to be intercepted? Oh, of course. Thank you for delivering this letter. Good work. Oh my god, look at him. He's so pretty. Look at him. I love it when he blinks at me. Oh, well, just doing my job. No need for thanks. You could kiss me, though. I would take that as thanks. I'll take payment in the form of kisses. I certainly hadn't done anything very impressive, because anyone could have done it, but it did feel nice to be thanked. I was useful to everyone. Now that the job was done, though, I wasn't quite sure what I should do next. Stay and talk. Saito had been ordered away for the Shinsengumi for the duration of his assignment. And this was the first time I'd been able to see him in a while, and there was no way to know when he'd return. The fact that I didn't know when I might see him again made me reluctant to turn around and leave. Yamaguchi? Saito. What is it? I'd like to stay and talk for a bit, if that's okay with you. Talk? To me? Yes. I don't think I'd have anything to talk about to entertain you, though. Oh, no need. Just a normal conversation is fine. Or even just being by my side is enough. He's like, what? Saito stared at me for a while, but eventually... I suppose that's alright. Not here, though. Huh? I opened my mouth to ask, but he was already walking away. Quickly, I jogged to catch up. Yamaguchi, please wait! I rushed to follow him. This should be far enough. We reached a small back street and he stopped. Looking back, I could still see Tenma, but there weren't many people about, and the streetlights didn't reach us. Standing in such a narrow street forced us into somewhat closer quarters than normal. Why are we out here? My duty is to guard Miura. Miura. We don't know when he might be attacked. Hijikata sent you because you won't be noticed. Fortunately, I don't have that same luxury. My face is well known, and if I'm spotted, our plan is ruined. That's true. Sorry, I didn't think of that. Don't worry about it. It's my job to think of these things. Your responsibilities lie elsewhere. Why else do you think I'm assigned to these sorts of missions? There's nothing for you to be ashamed of, and therefore no need to apologize. But I could have ruined everything by being like, I want to talk to you. Maybe that isn't the good thing. Maybe we're not going to get love points for this. But you would think, though, that he would have been like, yeah, no, I ain't got time for that shit. As opposed to like, okay, come this way. Right. Saito was always so matter-of-fact. I heard that he was around the same age as Okita or Heisuke, but why is he so mature? It's so weird. Yukimura... Yes? What is it? Yeah, she's like, Yukimura... Yes, I love you too. What? How are things at home? Anything out of the ordinary? Well, everyone's been busy lately. After all that happened. I guess things are pretty restless right now. I imagine so. Even without our recent losses, our numbers were significantly reduced. Yeah. Our conversation stopped again. I blew into my hands since they were so cold to the point of pain. Are you cold? Oh my god, hug me. Why don't you start heading back soon? I'm fine. I want a little more time. But I don't get to go out like this so often, and I don't get to see your fucking beautiful face. Oh, but if you want to go back to your room, then... No. Oh, that was me. Wait, I said that? Hold on. Oh, no, that was... I'm assuming I was supposed to have said, oh, but if you want to go back to your room, okay. No, don't mind me. Saito's curt words made me feel relieved. There's no way he wasn't cold under this harsh weather, but I guess he's been considerate for me, who never gets to go out often. I'd be like, no, I don't get to see you anymore, and I missed you after 6 fucking months! Saito eventually spoke up again. How was Heisuke? I'd expected him to ask eventually. What man in his position wouldn't have been concerned for his friend? Well, as far as I can tell, he's still the same person he was before. I mean, he's a little different, just because he can't be up and about during the day. But I was about to say I don't know what would come of him, but I caught myself. I realized it had a very eerie undertone to it, so I rushed to close my mouth shut. What is it? Oh, nothing. Our conversation stopped yet again. Saito looked up at the sky and stared at the light emanating from the moon. Oh my god. Saito, can I ask you something? What is it? If you got injured like Heisuke or Sanan, or if you had to help your friends, would you drink the water of life? Yes, if that was what duty demanded of me. He showed no hesitation. Indeed, he hadn't even taken a second to answer. That worried me. But did that answer surprise you? No. I had a feeling that's how Saito would have answered. When Ito had left, he followed Hichikata's orders and acted as a spy. When he returned, all the things the other warriors had said didn't faze him, and he just diligently followed orders. It's almost as if nothing ever phases him. Look. In one smooth movement, he drew his sword from its sheath. Oh, look, he's being cute with us. The romantic music in the background. He's like, look, I whip out my sword. It's like, and then there's romantic music. Moonlight glinted off the blade, bright but cold. The sword has drawn blood, created rivers of it. Even I can't remember the springs that fed them. His voice was quiet and hard. I have killed my enemies and my allies, too many to count. I've no doubt that I'll die in battle. Such is karma. The course of my life would not change if I were to drink the water of life and become a fury. I live by the sword, and one day I'll die by it, fury or no. That's all there is to it. There seemed to be no emotion attached to the thought of his own death. But the sword has also protected me. Saito silently listened. I know I don't have any right to say that killing people is bad, but you've used that sword against others to protect me. I share your karma. I'm alive because someone else is dead. Even so, I still want to live. I want my friends to live. I want you to live. Like, I want my friends to live, and I want you to live, so I'm not one of your friends. No, you're more than that. I love you. Jesus. Even if that means someone has to die, does that make me a bad person? No. If what you desire is life, how can you be wrong? All too often, doubt is little more than a poison. Saito eventually put his sword away. We've been out here too long. It's time you return to the Shinsengumi, and I return to Miura. Oh, okay. Without warning, he turned, walked to an empty section of road, and stopped. Yamazaki, Shimada, you're there, right? Huh? The sun's gone down. If you stick to the shadows, you're going to put her at risk. Just escort her personally. In response to Saito, Yamazaki and Shimada popped out. Understood. Yamazaki, Shimada, why are you two here? Orders from Hijikata. Why else? Of course. How long have you known? Since you got here. I've done your job plenty of times, you know. I see. We've stayed too long. You better move. No love points? No love points? No love points? for wanting to hang out and talk to him? No love points! Son of a bitch, this is hard! I called out to Saito one last time as he headed back toward the Tenma Inn. Saito? He stopped walking and I called out towards his back. Good luck. And please don't die. It was hardly something he would have cared to hear, but I meant every word of it. It may be his wish to die during his mission, but I wanted him to know. Eventually, he quietly turned to look my way. Love points. Yes! Bitch! Be safe. For a moment, I thought I saw a smile cross his face. We probably got nothing. With Saito gone, we turned and made our way back toward the Shinsengumi. So did I get, like, no love points for, like, the, I want to stay and talk to you? Because he's like, what? You want to talk to me? I want to see where we are. God damn it. I need to be, like, maxed out. Oh. Guys. This man, I mean, in case you couldn't tell, I know it's hard to tell because I don't have, like, a lot of emotion, like, when I say things, but I'm really fucking happy right now. Oh, you are so fucking mine. I am so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. Okay, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for making all the right choices. But, like, you guys are seeing this, like, a month after I record it. Not really a month. Like, a couple weeks. After I record this, but still. Still, I'm so proud. I'm really hoping, okay, that this game isn't as short as I think it is, because I'd be really, really, really sad if I got to the end to start on a new route. Here's the thing. We'll get to whatever ending we get for Saito, and then what we're going to do is we'll do the other two, because there's a bad ending, there's a meh ending, and then there's the happy ending. So I say the meh ending because it's not even a middle ground. It's like they called it the unrequited love one. So it's basically like they either, I'm assuming we're like, I love you, and they're like, yeah, I'm not into you, like, and that sucks. So I don't know. I don't really know, but I'm just guessing it's not really good. It's not like in Code Realize where it's normal, where we're in love with them and one of us dies. It's really going to be like, I mean, it could be, I don't know. But I remember seeing the term unrequited love, and I'm like, oh, that makes me sad. It's like we love them or they love us and we don't feel for that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Someone confesses and someone denies. So there's that, which to me is like a bad ending. And then there's a bad ending, which I don't know, maybe they die or something. I don't know how the unrequited love thing isn't a bad ending. So to me, it's like two bad endings, and then there's the good ending, the normal ending. So we'll get what we get. I'm assuming we gonna get the good ending, because we at full bloom. So if I go up to him and I'm like, I love you, and he's like, I'm not into it, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, game? You know? Unless I make the wrong choice and the final hour, and it kills him, and then we get the bad ending. But whatever. So we're gonna do those endings. But I'm really hoping that we don't end up, like, totally done with that and I gotta start the next route before you guys have a chance to even see any of this, because that's the way it's probably gonna be. I mean, I have to record weeks and weeks in advance. And I'm way ahead. So that's why I told you guys in one of the earlier parts, like, start leaving the guys that you like, because who knows? If that's the case and I start having to record, then obviously the next guy is going to be the one I pick, and then we'll kind of get into, like, the ones that you guys like. But I still don't see how you're supposed to get options with some of the other guys. You know what I mean? Like, how do you go down? I don't know. Unless, in order to play Edo Blossoms, you kind of have to have the romance values from this game. I mean, I would think you could play it without playing this game, but it would make no motherfucking sense, right? Because it's a continuation from this. But how does it know that we had, like, 80%? Like, what if we only got to 80%? We do get some kind of an ending, but doesn't it have to know where you pick up? Or just assumes that you play the full game and you got all the paths. But how do you get some of these other guys' paths, right? Like, how the fuck? Like, Susumu, I mean, there's got to be a way to get him. You see him a little more often now. Iba, we've seen him fucking once. Where the fuck does he come in? Kazue, we've seen him once. Ryuma, they act like we haven't met him. We met him, he gave us a fake name, but we haven't. We're at the end of middle to end of chapter 4, and if this game really, there can't only be one chapter. There can't be one chapter left. They can't. But in Chikage, how would you even get to his path? You know what I'm saying? How? Anyway, whatever. The Shinsengumi, once solid, now wavered. What would happen to them? What would happen to the Fury Corps? Men were forced to watch as their friends became the undead monsters known as Furies. Was it any wonder that they found themselves conflicted or that tempers began to rise? Several days later, the order was given to begin the Imperial Restoration. Maybe there's only 5 chapters before you get into the guy's path. Maybe that's what they mean. I don't know. Imperial Restoration, the formal movement followed by those who sought to back the emperor and the government instead of the shogun. Ooh. The emperor would be restored to power, and his court would once again rule the nation. The position of shogun would be abolished, and Kyoto's military and judiciary commissioner positions would be eliminated. All that the Shinsengumi had fought for and believed in was falling to pieces. That's sad. The end. Our pets' heads are falling. See, this is chapter 5, so is this like the end? Like, what's going on? Oh no, that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well! I don't like it. No, that was Sato. December 1867. Oh, whoops. As the order to begin Imperial Restoration came, Satsuma and Choshu troops started occupying the city of Kyoto. At the same time, members and affiliates of the Tokugawa shogunate were being removed from the Imperial Palace and eventually Kyoto altogether. They, as expected, did not take this lightly. In response, the shogunate's military forces were beginning to march from Edo to Kyoto. As tensions rose from the approaching shogunate armies, the Satsuma and Choshu were preparing their own forces for a hostile confrontation. The situation was growing increasingly frenzied. As the shogunate scrambled to call upon their remaining allies, the Shinsengumi received an order to come to the Fushimi magistrate. Having all of their men and armaments gathered in, the Fushimi magistrate enabled the shogunate to act in the event of an emergency. So off we went. And one such day, during the commotion... Hey, bad news, guys. The chief's been attacked. Bad news was delivered to the Fushimi magistrate. Fushimi! There have been no witnesses, and the culprit escaped unseen. Their motives can only be guessed. What the hell? Who the hell could have shot him? Let's go. Anyone who's free, come with me. Hakakura got a crew of warriors together, and they all headed towards the location where Kondo was shot. Crazy Demon Guy has a gun, and Ryoma has a gun. And he's not... Kondo's gunshot wound was on his right shoulder. The bullet pierced clean through him, shattering the bone, which required more treatment than I could have given him at the compounds. I was sweeping up the common room when... Oh, Yukimura. Are you still awake at this hour? Oh, Sonnen. Did you have any business here? Ah, it's a lantern. There you go. Now I know. There's a candle in it. I see. That's cool. I was like, literally, what are... I mean, I know they weren't actually, like, air purifiers, right? But I was like, what is that tube thing? Well, there you go. That's a candle. Okay. If you're going to use this room, I'll leave. Oh, I don't mind. Rather, I think it's better that you're here for it. Huh? His words perplexed me, so I felt a little anxious. Just then, the most prominent Shinsengumi captains began filing into the common room. Hi, husband. He's my husband now, full bloom bitches. What were they about to discuss? My anxiety was starting to grow stronger. Seems like everyone's here. I don't see Okita. He doesn't need to hear this. If Soji gets involved, he wouldn't think twice about his safety, and he'll go straight for vengeance for Kondo. But if that's what he desires, why wouldn't you let him do so? As usual, you're too kind, Hijikata. So, what do you want from us? There's no telling when war will finally erupt. And for us to gather here right now, don't tell me... It is exactly as you're thinking. I asked you all to gather here today with the intention of giving something to you. In his hands was an object, wrapped in a fine cloth that he slowly unwrapped before all of us. As I saw what was inside of his hands, I gasped and clapped my hands over my mouth. The water of life? Exactly. As captains of the Shinsengumi, we all took on the risk of researching the serum. As such, it's necessary for us to take responsibility for this experiment. Especially if, like Kondo, any of you becomes injured or maimed to the point you cannot fight. Or in the worst case, there's a possibility that your life is gravely threatened. I know for certain that this serum will be of use to you. Sanin, are you trying to experiment on us too now? I know what you're thinking, but under the current circumstances, we cannot afford to lose any more captains. Screw that! I don't want to depend on that crap just to survive. Nagakura barked his indignation to Sanin's proposal and he stormed off.
Perhaps we can call it a good luck charm. Personally, I pray that it shall never come to any of us drinking the serum.
Inoue spoke softly as his fingers pinched the vial and held it close to his eyes. I will borrow this. Well, I don't think I'll ever use it, but I'll hold on to it. Just in case, of course. Both Saito and Harada grabbed a vial and then slipped it into their respective pockets. Hijikata? Up until now, Hijikata crossed his arms and silently observed Sanin's speech. We gotta take responsibility, huh? Well, you're onto something. His eyes looked troubled, but he reached for the serum and slipped it into his pocket as well. Well, I believe that does it for tonight. I just pray that my courtesy will not go to waste. He seems kind of devious. After Sanin had finished, the captains all bowed and left the room, and Sanin turned towards me. Yukimura, I'm certain you're aware of this, but do not let word of tonight get out to any other warrior. Do I make myself clear? Timidly, I nodded my head, and Sanin waited for a second before nodding silently and leaving the room. What could I do? The serum created by my father was now in the hands of the captains. I shuddered at the thought of them drinking it. You still haven't figured out who to attack the chief? I bet you anything it's those bastards from the Sasuma Choshu Alliance. Ever since the attack on Kondo, the atmosphere at the Fushimi Magistrate's office had been tense, to say the least. I felt an increase as I stepped into the meeting room, carrying tea for the captains. Here's your tea. Oh, thanks. Could you just leave it here? I seemed to have walked in on a serious discussion. All around the room were tense, drawn faces. So what's your plan? The Satsuma Choshu Alliance wants power in the court, but they're also helping the Emperor grant them all of the Shogunate's assets and holdings. There's no other way to look at it. Trying to start a war. It'd be smart to start preparing for one. You have a point. They've been sucking up to the Emperor, and they come and go at the palace like they own the place. Now, so far as preparing for war, Sanin has been pushing hard to augment the Fury Corps. A memory of the other day came back to me. Sanin offered the water of life to all of the captains, and they accepted it. I'm against that. This is war, not subduing the odd Ronin. There are going to be enemies and allies everywhere in battle. I don't think we'll be able to control them. They're powerful, but it's too risky. Agreed. Besides, it's inhumane. But then what do you suggest? If you wish to disapprove, you should offer an alternate path. We're working on that. If it was so easy to come up with a solution, you really think we'd be in this mess? What's your take on this, Commander? Ichikata furrowed his brow and frowned. Let me think about it. We need to see what the Sasuma... I thought it was Sasuma? Oh my god, was I saying it wrong? I don't know. And Choshu are going to do. We have to consider what the Shogunate wants. Kondo's injury had put everyone on edge, especially with the war inching closer day by day. What was going to become of the Shinsengumi, as well as the Fury Corps? December 20th, 1867. Oh, now we have a motherfucking date. It was decided that Kondo and Okita were to be moved to Osaka, where Dr. Masumoto was. Kondo had required serious surgery and treatment, while Okita needed to treat his tuberculosis. Only a few people had caught on to Okita's condition internally, but when it came time for him to leave, it was as if a dark cloud hovered over all of us. The departure of these two leaders brought solemnity and sadness to us all. I wonder what would happen if we had more love points with him. Saito for sore eyes! Oh my god, is that because we got full points with him? And we now on his motherfucker... Are we on his path? Are we on his path? Are we on his path? January 3rd, 1868. Like, we've been here for 4 motherfucking years! It's about time! It's about time we got on his path after 4 motherfucking years. Bitch, I can't! 4 fucking years! That's like half a lifetime for these people. Like the fucking 1868! You're like, I'm like fucking old. Honey, you're like 22. I know, but that's like 80 in 1868 years. I was busying myself in the compound around the time the men began to return from their patrols. Hey, we're back. Looks like Kyoto's winters are as rough as ever. Oh, welcome back, guys. I'm getting real tired of these Satsuma bastards. We gotta be sitting in a nice warm room getting drunk now that they're stamping out fires. You know, I haven't even gotten any Zouni this year. What's Zouni? Zouni this year. He continued muttering angrily to himself as he pulled off his coat and hung it up. Oh, Nagakura. You haven't stopped talking about Zouni once all day. What's Zouni? Anyway. Well, can you think of anything better to do during New Year's than to eat mochi and sleep? Or maybe, do you think Satsuma doesn't celebrate New Year's? How was it out there? There are no serious problems for now. I love you. I see. Saito's reassurances allow me to relax, if only a little. I had no idea what might happen in the days to come, but I thought it would be nice to at least enjoy the New Year's festivities in peace. I just let out a small sigh of relief when a noise like a small thunderclap sounded from somewhere outside the compound. Fireworks? Aw. It was gunfire, wasn't it? The earlier good humor evaporated, and every face in the room turned toward the source of the sound, tense and serious. So it's finally started, huh? The gunshot was the beginning of what would later become known as the Battle of Toba-Fushimi. Battle of Toba-Fushimi, a battle between Imperial and Shogunate forces that lasted 4 days during January of 1868. Skirmishes occurred in Kamitoga, Shimotoba, Takeda, and Fushimi in southern Kyoto. Oh god, who's gonna fucking die? It better not be motherfucking Saito. We're on his path, so I don't think so. We later learned that the Satsuma opened fire on Shogunate soldiers attempting to enter Kyoto. But at the time we heard it, we knew nothing. Who do you think fired that shot? We should just go out there. Calm down. We won't do anything until the commander returns, understood? Fine, but someone needs to tell the rest of the men. Might as well be me, unless... Saito nodded and Harada ran off. Within moments, the atmosphere in the magistrate's office changed. What should I do? Well, you should probably... Then it happened. Aye! Eek! A deafening explosion tore through the air, and the building itself shook. And it was no gunshot this time. What the hell was that? Wasn't an earthquake, was it? No, it couldn't have been. But that means... Saito and Nagakura looked at one another, then ran off out of the door to the building. What's going on? The hell? I could hear their voices outside. Well, Saito said nothing, so you didn't hear his voice. What was going on? Ah! A cluster of shots rang out and I jumped. Saito returned, his placid face even more stern than usual. Oh, thank you for coming back for me, darling. Oh, Saito, what's going on? There's a cannon in Ryuan Temple. It has to be the Satsuma. Ryuan Temple. Ryuan Temple. A temple located atop a mountain to the northeast of the Fushimi Magistrate's office. They're firing a fucking cannon from a fucking mountain? A cannon? No! Ah! The walls shook again as the cannon's thunderous rapport tore through the air. I'm not going to be like, "Aye!" It's too, you'd be like, ah! I mean, like, you'd scream, but I just can't imagine anyone, and maybe it's because I'm not super girly. I wouldn't be like, cannon, I'd be like, ah! But I wouldn't be like, aye! I can't. That's just way too girly. So, whatever. Dude, we're a little tougher than, oh! The hell was that, man? It's totally how I would scream. I'm kidding. Damn it! This keeps up, we're toast. He swore in frustration. Can't we just go over there and take their cannon, Shinpachi? Maybe, but it'll be tough. They got a lot of small firearms, too. We have swords. Isn't there some way we can make them stop shooting at us? I mean, couldn't we shoot back at them with a cannon or something? It was a foolish idea and I knew it, but I felt so useless just standing around screaming. I had to do something. We do have a cannon, yes. Well, then can't we just shoot at them? Yes, but it won't be very effective. Why not? They've set themselves up on the high ground. If we fire from down here, we'd be lucky to reach them. Besides, Ryuin is surrounded by forest. The trees are a natural shield. Oh no. Fuck! She'd be like, oh no. I'd be like, well, fuck. Then there was nothing we could do? We just had to sit here and let them attack us? I'm pretty sure that just sounds stupid. That was when Shimada ran in. We're in trouble. The Satsuma are trying to surround the magistrate's office. Well, fuck. Saito sucked at his teeth, and I could see his mind working furiously, searching for a solution. This is so goddamn difficult, because I'm not going to know what happens. Building's taken a lot of punishment. They keep this bombardment up, and it's all coming down. Hijikata appeared, short of breath, and wearing his headguard and Shinsengumi uniform. Headguard, a simple piece of armor to protect the head. It's a sheet of metal attached to a cloth headband. Hijikata! Kondo put me in charge when he left. I think he wanted us to still be around when he came back. We're going on the counterattack. His words sent the magistrate's office into a frenzy. Finally, it's about goddamn time. I'm getting real tired of just sitting around while they shoot at us. Or to feel like a man that way. Alright, what's the plan? We gonna shoot him with our cannon? No point shooting from here. We're gonna have to take it up to the front line. We get lucky, maybe we can take their cannon while we're at it. That's more like it. Let's do this. Those Satsuma punks better watch out. They all seemed more than ready to fight, but something still worried me. Saito, how many men do they have? If you can take their cannon, will we win? Our side is nearly 15,000 men. From what I understand, the Satsuma and Choshu have only a third of that, at most. Then, we can't lose, right? Saito's mouth thinned to a tight line, and he looked at me for a moment before he answered, oh my god, don't die. One cannot always achieve victory through force of arms. I was about to ask him what he meant when Hijikata began to call out orders. Don't let those honorless bastards out there even put a foot inside this building. Stay calm and we can beat them. Gen. Oh, that's actually Gen. See, I knew I was going to call him Gen. Gen, you'll stay here. I'll be taking the rest of our men and going after their headquarters.
No problem, Toshi. You just leave it to me.
He nodded and trotted off toward the entrance. Our best intelligence puts the enemy headquarters at Gakonomiya Shrine. Gakonomiya Shrine. A shrine at the northeast of the Fushimi Magistrate's office. To the northeast. Unfortunately, between us and them is a big hill. They got a bunch of guns dug in on the top of it. It'll pick us off as we climb up. There's only one way we're breaking through. Hijikata's voice trailed off, but all the men around... Wait. Hijikata's voice trailed off, but all the men around... Something... Understood... All the men around understand what that silence implied. Fucking Tim. If they were to win, they would have to thrust their forces into the heart of the enemy encampment, and that would mean running straight into a line of gunfire. The men who left to go to the attack would be facing a good deal more danger than those left at the magistrate's office. There was a moment of silence before Nagakura fixed Hijikata with a confident look and spoke. Sure thing, Commander. I can take care of that. Are you sure, Shinpachi? Well, someone's got to do it, right? Might as well be me. Don't die. It's better than sitting around here and getting pounded at least. He gave Hijikata a grin, then turned his men in the 2nd Division. Sorry, guys, but it looks like your captain just volunteered to get us all shot to hell. But hey, at least we'll go off to the next life together. What are you apologizing for, Captain Nagakura? I'm a samurai. I'm always prepared to give my life for victory. Don't go! I would look at him and be like, don't leave me. If you leave me now, I'll take away the baby. I'm sorry, it's like I'm a Disney princess and I just have to sing to him. I don't know. Saito looked up as Shimada spoke. Something wrong? I thought perhaps he looked as if he wanted to say something, but it could have just as easily been my imagination. His eyes are wide. All right, the 2nd Division will be leading our main thrust against the enemy encampment. I want you to attack Gokonomiya Shrine. No sweat. You just leave that to us. It'll take more than a couple Satsuma bullets to kill Shinpachi Nagakura. Well, when you go to the 10th Division, when you go in, the 10th Division will be there to support you. So don't worry about your flank, all right? We're off then. Bye, boys. Don't die. With grins and more playful banter, Nagakura, Shimada, and Harada sauntered outside and out of sight. Oh god, one of them's gonna die. Or all of them. The roles they were playing were very dangerous, and they were really risking their lives. But neither Nagakura nor Shimada showed a sign of fear. I know we're over time, but I always wondered, how could they go in with such bravery? I saw a muscle in Hijikata's jaw twitch as he watched them go. Then he turned toward the rest of us. Saito, take your men and head for a Ryun temple. We're screwed unless you can silence that cannon. Understood. His voice was as flat and measured as ever. Whatever he might be thinking, it was impossible for me to guess. Hijikata, what should I do? I tried asking Hijikata, but Saito interrupted. He's like, don't you fucking move! We're like, Hijikata, don't you He's always like, understood. I'll do whatever I need to do. He's like, don't you fucking move! Did you just raise your voice at me? I swear to God, if you get yourself killed, 4 years of our relationship is down the toilet. You are my precious and you will stay here, goddammit. Okay, whatever you say, Daddy. Stay here. There's no guarantee you'll come out of this alive if you follow us into battle. Oh, it's so romantic. He turned on his heel without so much as a goodbye and headed for Ryun Temple. It wasn't going to be an easy fight. They even return alive? Oh, Saito motherfucking better. This was the first time the Shinsengumi had fought such a large force, as well as the first time they'd faced guns and cannons. I believed in their skill, but I couldn't help feeling a certain amount of trepidation. With little else to do, I fell to praying for their safety and lost myself in my worries. Perfect! Okay, it's a perfect place to stop. Okay. I don't know how much time is going to pass either. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time, and hopefully I don't want any of them to die, but I have a feeling somebody's gonna fucking die. I know it can't be Saito because we're probably getting to his path and he can't die now. And we haven't made a decision that would cause a bad path, where he might die. So, but it still stresses me out a little, like, don't you die on me. But I really feel like that was more him when he's like, what should you stay here. Oh, wow. You got angry. It's like, don't you move. Okay. I'm a good dog. I do whatever you say. Other boys, I'm going to be like, nah. Okita, I'm going to be like, nah. Breaking all the rules. Because, But Saito tells you to stay. You stay. You stay like a good girl, and you're like, I really had to pee. Can I go pee? You told me to stay, and I really need to pee. Like, I don't know. Anyway. That was his, like, I love you too much to see you die. It's romantic if you think about it in that tense, right? Like, it's like, oh, that's so sweet. It's supposed to stay. You might not make it if you follow us into battle. It's really, oh my God. You were just professing your undying love for us. I love the ones like that where you have to kind of really, really, really dig deep to figure out what they're saying because they can't just say it. We know we have a full bloom with him. Anyway. I'm just so proud of myself for getting 100%. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.